Well, good afternoon, folks. It's the real Captain Kirk here. It's the 6th of February, 2022. We're live from One Bethlehem Plaza here. We'll start here with a recap of last week on a National Retail Federation calendar. How our big customers would look at the weather here. Here week ending 5 February and Saturday. Here in the U.S., 3.7 degrees colder than last year, coldest in 8 years, 7th coldest in 30 years. So a very cold week for the U.S. overall, below average. 49% wetter than last year with the big system that went through the Ohio Valley, and 10th wettest in 37 years, so above average on that front. And while snowfall was a little bit less than last year, still 7th most in 37 years, so well above average. Up in Canada, again, very cold, coldest in several years. Europe, a little bit warmer than last year. UK, warmest in 6 years. Russia, warmest in 6. China, coldest in 4 years with the Olympics. Australia, down under, a little bit colder, coldest in 7 years. India, colder than last year as well, much below average there. And Brazil, a little bit cooler and just a little bit wetter than last year, but also below average precip. World's trends, actually the coldest in 4 years and a below average world temperature here this week, so a little unusual there. Maps inset left are the trends versus average. Polar Vortex has still got a little bit of a wobble to it, but it's wobbling out of the eastern U.S. here, so it looks like we're going to, this time last year it was invading the entire U.S. for several weeks, not this year. So it's retreating, and it's a little bit symmetrical, starting to show us again some wobble. We have to look at some colder trends there in Alaska here in a couple weeks, and then that'll eventually make it in the U.S. So late Feb, early March, certainly get the lower 48, could get back into the polar vortex discussion here. This week here, again, a week before Valentine's Day, a week ending 12 Feb. Here in the U.S., 11.1 degrees warmer than last year. Keep in mind, again, this time last year we had that epic polar vortex invading us. Warmest in 4 years, 13th warmest in 37 years, so above average national temperatures. That map there shows you just how much warmer it was than this time last year. Precip trends dry, 86% drier than last year. Number one driest in 37 years. That chart bottom left there shows just how much drier after quite a few wet periods here in the previous history, but not this year. Snowfall also 87% less than last year. A little bit of a clipper system exiting the Great Lakes. So we'll get a little bit of a downwind Great Lake effect here next couple days, but not a lot of snow here. In fact, if we look at the 6-day snowfall trends here, again, 84% less than a year ago, 81% below average, least in 24 years, second least in 37 years. So up in the Great Lakes, downwind, a little bit of lake effect, but not much for the U.S. overall. We'll have to watch here for next week. This chart just, again, helps put it into perspective. Again, least since 1998 for national snowfall. If we look at the season-to-date neat NOAA product here of as of today, seasonal snowfall observed. You see the sucker hole here in eastern PA where everyone's a little disappointed that we're actually the least. There's more in Jersey than there is here in eastern PA, a little unusual. National trends here, still winter snowfall at least, most in 4 years, even if we're just a bit below average. So about 10% more snow than last year for the winter season, which is defined as 1 December through the end of February. Most in 4 years, but still 10% below average here. So we may pick up some here, but right now, again, most in 4 years nationally. Looking at next week, again, mid-Feb here, and this is Valentine's Day week. Here in the U.S., warm, 12.8 degrees warmer than last year, warmest in 4 years. Overall, it'd be 17th coldest in 37 years. That's right in the middle, about average. Again, you see that map inset left there, much warmer than the epic cold conditions of history last year almost. 37-year precip trends here show about a wetter trend, 11% wetter than last year, most in 3 years, 6th most in 37 years, so above average there. Snowfall may be a little less than last year, but we'll have to watch a big Valentine's Day snowstorm potential here in the Northeast. We'll see. Again, it's going to be a close call, but lots of moisture, and we'll just, again, have to see about this timing here. But it looks like Monday might be the time for the next bigger snowstorm here in the east. With that front, as you saw, there was a lot of precip in the southeast. Tornadoes are already off to, it's slow. It's only about 46 so far, but that's well above average. Our expectations here for the 2022 season is that we'll have 15% more than last year, most in 3 years, and above average tornadic activity. We do think that March, April is going to have some cold snaps, and when you have cold snaps clashing with the Bermuda high and the warm, moist air to the south, you definitely can have a lot of tornadoes. So something we haven't seen since probably 2019. So it may be a year more similar to 2019 when we had a well above average season. So again, something to prepare for if you can. Looking at the world 2-week outlook, now that's just aggregating the 2-week trends here. So generally a milder trend here in the U.S., but look at all that cold air up in Alaska. We'll have to see. Again, polar vortex may make its comeback here in late February, early March. Again, that cold air will eventually head our way. very warm across Europe. So again, a mild trend across Europe, and where they're having the Olympics, pretty cold for most of China. Precip map versus average inset left there. We'll just end here with, if you haven't checked out our rooftop panoramic weather cameras, we have 4 of them on top of our building here, up about 150 feet in the air, so we can see just about everything up here. So gorgeous sunsets, meteors, you name it, we've seen it up here. So check out weathertrends360.com/weather-cams, and you can watch us live from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. So with that, folks, we hope you have a great week, and we'll be back here again this time next week.